let's see how to create chaser in DLight. You will see it's very simple, and in fact chaser are just a sequence in the same way as the main sequence in DLight. You access, in order to create chaser, you do that thanks to the display chaser menu. So when you do that, you access to the chaser listing. You will have the same for the queue listing, group listing, chaser listing, sample listing, curve listing, as we saw, and that's it. So in order to create chaser, you push the plus button. So that's it. Let's give it a name. I enter in this case, and I call it my chaser. Okay, I push the enter button. This icon, drag and drop available, means that you can click on the number of the chaser, you maintain the click, and you drag and drop it to submaster, because that's the only way to replay chaser in DLight. It is to load them in submaster and after to open or close the submaster. When you will want to link a chaser to sequence, you will do that. You will load it in submaster and you will use master links in order to open or close the submaster. Okay, so my first chaser is created. I can now edit the chaser thanks to this button. So I push it, and this is the chaser editor. You see that here it is the same as the main sequences. It is a sequence, in fact. I will create steps, and the steps will go from one to the next, to the next, to the next. So let's do it, and please pay attention to the way I do it, because it's the easiest way. So for example, I select the channel 1, shift 10 in order to select them all, equal to give them a level, and I can use the queue record button in order to record the first queue. So DLight have created a first step 0. He have created a queue, Q1, and load it in the steps. And this is the default time in, time out. This is the default time. I have created the first queue. Now I will create the next one. So I set them to 0, 0 equal. I select those guys, up shift 20, equal, and I can also use the shift R button, the big R. It is the same function as the queue record. So I press the big R button, and DLight have created another queue, another step, and you have loaded the second queue in the second step. This is the better way to process. 0 equal. What I mean is that you don't need to create a new step and then load a new queue. No. The easiest way is to create queue and to create the state, the queue, and to record it. By the way, if you want to see what you do on stage, you can have access to the live function by pressing this button. And now what you do in the chaser editor will be pushed on stage, and you can see what you do. This is very convenient also. So 0 equal, and let's create our last step, shift 30 equal, and I push the big R button. So now we have a chaser of 3 steps. In order to see it, you can use those buttons. This is the play button. Directly from the chaser listing, also you have a preview button. If I push it, yes, I should remove the live, otherwise first steps is always on. Sorry for that. I push it back. I remove it, sorry. And you see steps are cross-fading each other with a time of 5 seconds. That was the preview. I can also test it or try it by opening the submaster. So I can double click here on the level, and the chaser will be launched. Okay, I think you have understood. Now the timing of the chaser. Here there is a crossfade in 5 seconds. I can change that. I select the first step. I hit the shift button and click here to the last step, because I want to change time for every steps of my chaser. I want them to play in 1 second. So I push 1, and the shortcut for time in and time out is TT. So I hit TT 2 times. And now the chaser steps are fading in 1 second. Super. Okay, there is another interesting time. It is a hold colon. Hold means that steps will perform their timing. So here, for example, step 0 will rise in 1 second, and if I set a hold value, it will hold the steps during the hold value. So let's try it. I select them, all of them. I set 0 TT in order to have no crossfade, direct fading. And here, in the display available shortcuts, wow, it's crowded. in the available shortcut, I can see that the hold function, the shortcut is big W. So let's set an hold time of 1 second, for example, 1 W. And now, if I launch the preview, every second steps will be crossfade. But as time in and out are 0, they go cut. So this is the hold timing. Okay, stop the preview. Here in the chaser listing, so this is a drag and drop available. You can import chaser or export chaser. This is to create, to remove, edit, and this is to clone. It is sometimes useful to clone chaser, because you can work on this one, and if you fail, you can still have a copy, a clone. And this is a reorder function. For example, if I want this one to change his number, I type the new number 100 and click on the reorder. So now this one is the chaser number 100. And if I change this one is also loaded here in this submaster. If I want it to be called 10, I push 10, and it is automatically automatically change here in the submaster. Okay, that's it for Chaser in DLight. See you.